Hey guys, welcome to the Hollabbey Homestead. So today I'm going to be working around the yard. Last night we actually had quite a crazy rainstorm. There was thunder, there was lightning, which doesn't really bother me because I was quite happy that my garden got some water because we had some issues with our outside water hose, and which Dave fixed. I'll show you actually what the problem was. Every time we turned the hose on, it was actually filling the basement with water. So he fixed that, and I'll show you why it was leaking in the first place here. So this is our old outside water faucet, which Dave took off and changed because we couldn't figure out why it was leaking, and we had a couple of days where we got water in the basement from it. And anyways, when he pulled it out, there was electrical tape around here, and he took the electrical tape off and it split there, and that bubbling is because it froze. And so I guess the previous owner knew that it froze, and she tried to fix it. So this is what not to do, and this is what a pipe looks like when it freezes. Isn't that crazy what ice and frozen water can actually do to plumbing? Anyways, I'm going to walk down to the veggie garden here and check on my plants, see how they fared in the storm. And I'm going to be planting a few things around the house and probably dealing with my seedlings. And so let's get to it. Well, my cucumbers are looking a little bit rough. We had a couple really hot days. I think that might be what it's from. There's a bit of yellowing on the leaves. It's probably hard to show you here, but that's not disease, that's dirt. So it rained so hard last night that the dirt actually splashed up on everything. So when you look at my garden, not everything is diseased or anything like that. It's just because it rained so bad that the dirt washed up. You can see this leaf here. So these are, that plant isn't looking too good. I do have more cucumber plants to plant still, so I'm not too worried about it. And my tomatoes are happy though. I think that rain did them good. The only mystery here, and I don't know what's causing it, is I've had a couple of tomato plants actually just disappear. So here I have a tomato cage because there was a tomato plant there, and it's just totally gone. So I don't know what happened there. There's another one actually over here. The same thing happened right here. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I have so many tomato plants that losing one or two is not a big deal. Because this is my first year in this garden, I'm kind of learning on the fly what to expect with the soil and the wildlife and the pests and stuff. So bear with me. This garden and this soil is gonna take years to develop. At my old house, even the few years that I was there, the soil just got better year after year. Check out my squash though. It's really taken off there. It was probably about half the size a couple days ago, so I guess that's in a pretty happy spot. You can see all the mint here. So with the mint, I talked about the mint being beneficial to the garden, and it is. However, mint is a lot like a weed. So it will spread, it will take over, so I am going to have to kind of cut it down and pull it back and control it a bit, but I don't want to remove it completely. Actually, even if I tried that, it wouldn't go away completely. So probably in a week or two I'm going to have to start taken some of these plants out before they get too big and before they start smothering my other plants. But I mean, the benefit is this whole garden smells like mint. It smells really nice in here, and it looks kind of pretty too. And also you can use the mint for stuff. So you know, there's benefits, and also there's bad things about having stuff like this in your garden. And look at all my radishes here. Like I just said, that the dark spots on the leaves, that's just the soil that splashed up from the rainstorm. It's not disease. But look at all these radishes here. Isn't this beautiful? These are probably going to be ready in a couple weeks by the looks of it. Maybe even a week and a half. Gonna have lots of radishes. This is my herb part. So the cilantro here is very healthy actually, and looks like it's kind of sprouting a little bit. I should cut that back actually and use some of that. Some people like cilantro, some people don't. I've just got 4 plants here, and my parsley looks pretty happy too. And this is my sage here. So you see the mint kind of clustering around it. This is something I'm going to have to clean up because it's just going to smother the plant. And this is what I was talking about, how mint is a benefit, but it can also kind of take over your garden too. So this is a problem area that I'm going to have to deal with. We got another big nasturtium there. And I got some more mint here, and the carrots are slowly coming up. This is another area I'm going to have to weed here before it gets too bad. I'm going to cut that arugula down. I know I keep saying that, but I'm actually going to do it today. And the celery looks pretty healthy over there, just right here. So there's some more peppers. Here's some kale that I haven't cut, and it should be ready to cut. Well, it could be cut today, but I'm going to give it another day or two. My beans had quite a bit of soil splashback too from that storm. So again, that's just dirt on the leaves. But check this out. So this bean plant has latched on to the fence. So that's going to be pretty neat when that starts growing up taller. Moving over here, this one latched on too. Now these ones latch by themselves. This one is pretty close to latching on the fence, and sometimes you do have to sorry sometimes you do have to train them onto the trellis, so I'm just testing to see if this will even reach it. It's still pretty far, so I'm just going to leave that to let it grow a little bit more. These ones still haven't latched yet. And here's another one that it's there, but it's got really nothing to latch to. So I'm just going to leave that one. This one here, this was my first one that latched on. See how tall it is now? And this one latched on too. I have these wildflowers, which are basically weeds, but they're growing around the edge of my garden. I'm going to have to get the walk-behind lawnmower in here and clean this up. Probably this weekend I'll do that, so that's why it's a little messy. Grass hasn't been cut in here for a while, but it's not a huge deal. The bugs actually aren't that bad today because it's really windy, as you can probably hear the wind muffling the sound of this video, and it's kind of cool right now, so the bugs aren't bad. It's actually a perfect day to be working outside. So one of the things I'm going to do next is I'm going to walk around and steal some hostas from other parts of the yard and the garden and stuff, because they kind of spread all over the place, and put them in that bathtub right there. So the bathtub's just over there. First of all, there's a huge clump of hostas here, and I think I'm going to take, or at least try to get some of those hostas out and put them in the tub. Hostas will spread, so I'm not too worried if this looks bare for a little bit. But I'm going to attempt this, and we'll see how it goes. First, I gotta find a shovel. Dave, where'd you put the shovel that was right here, like last week? Ah. I go look in the barn. Shovel's in here. No shovels. Oh, I'm gonna use that. Look at this Veggie. It's the flowers are actually starting to come out. Isn't that pretty? Those planes were pretty low to the ground. That was kind of scary and loud. Was not expecting that. Didn't mean to do that. Success. Okay, I got some clumps. I'm gonna stick them in. Look at the root system on this. I probably should have done this sooner, but that's what happens the first year you move. You gotta try and get caught up with stuff. So I still gotta water them in, which I'll do. And they're a bit floppy right now because I just like ripped them out of the ground. So that's what it looks like, and they'll get fuller as the summer goes on. I'll probably put some other stuff in there, but this is what it looks like. So now that that's done, I'm gonna put the shovel back in a place that I actually remember where it is. I'm gonna go up on the balcony and I'm gonna check out my seedlings and see if some of them are ready to plant. Before I do that though, just walking by my marigolds, I want to show you something with those. So the downside to marigolds, it's not really a downside, but you have to deadhead them when the flowers kind of go off. They will grow another one, but if you don't deadhead them, then they're just kind of stuck like that. So let's see if I can find an example here. By the way, wear gloves. Marigolds leave like a yellowy like paste on your fingers. They'll smell, they'll stain your fingers. It's kind of nasty. That's the reason why they're so bug repellent. So you see this here. This flower's done. So when they're done, you just pinch them and pull, and the heads come off pretty easily. You know, you don't have to do it all the time. I just throw the heads back in here. But it helps keep them lush and fresh looking and pretty looking. And yeah, that's how you deal with that. They honestly snap off pretty easily. I don't know if you heard me snap that one off, but see? So looking at my ceiling trays up on the balcony, what I'm looking for is basically more than 2 leaves. So there's a little start there. But in my mind they're just not ready to be moved. Same with these ones. They're almost there. Probably like in 3 or 4 days they'll be ready. And these ones are like that too. So definitely not going to move those. My zinnias though look pretty ready to plant, but I think I'm going to save those for the weekend, let them get a little bit bigger because there's some little ones in there. And unfortunately my sage got decimated by the rainstorm. I'm hoping it'll dry out a bit, but it doesn't really look that great. It's basically a mud cake in there. Sorry guys, I thought for sure that they'd be ready to plant, but they're not, unfortunately. So another thing that we did recently is that I picked up 2 trail cams. So we have a few acres. We're in the middle of nowhere, and one of our neighbors suggested that we get trail cams, and then followed up with a comment that once we saw what was in the woods, we probably wouldn't want to ever go in there alone. So that's a challenge. I'm curious to know what's in there. Anyways, we put one of them up, and this one is still in the package. We haven't put that up yet, but it was about 40 bucks at TSC. Pretty standard, you know, no bells or whistles. You still got to buy a card for it. It does video and picture, which is kind of neat. I'm just gonna take a walk and check to see that the one that we put up is still there. Hopefully Bigfoot didn't steal it. So another cool thing that we were reading about trail cams is that in thunder and lightning storms, they capture all the lightning, and I guess you get some pretty cool pictures. So if there is any from last night's storm, I'll show you. I guess we set it up just in time. So we just set this thing up at we have this like post here. There it is. Came with a couple bunch of cords. It's pretty close to the house, but it's also facing that trail. And I'm gonna stand in front of it and test it and see if it actually does take a picture. I'm gonna wave at it. Hi. So I'm gonna wrap up my video for today. Sorry it wasn't too exciting. I thought that the seedlings would be ready to be put in the ground. That's kind of what's been going around here today. Just puttering in the yard. Anyways, if you like what you're watching, like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you guys soon.